Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Orange Report with Kira Davis. This is where you can find all the news and views you can use from around California and Orange County out here on the left coast. Hang on one second while I tweet at the X audience on my page. If you're watching from the X, if you're watching from the Orange Report on X, first of all, thank you. We're just getting that account established, but you can also watch through my account at Kira Davis on X. So let me just tweet this right now. Going live right now with the Orange Report. And today we're talking Oscars. All right, here we go. Done. All right. Well, we've got a lot on the plate today. We were going to have Brenda Lebsack from Santa Ana School District. She's going to talk to us. Last week, we talked to you, about the individual transition support plan. You guys have these? A transition support plan in your school where if your child wants to transition to the opposite sex, they can fill out these forms and the schools will keep those forms on record, and then they will keep that information private. They will change your child's information on all of their records, the way the teacher refers to them. The teacher will even hold the information from the. This is what really disturbs me. This plan makes it so that teachers can withhold the information from parents even when they're talking to them in parent-teacher conferences. It's a document of secrecy. It's an individual support plan. Brenda Lebsack has been working for years to dig this up in Orange County schools. She even ran for school board and won so she could join the school board and out some of this stuff. Now, unfortunately, I've talked about this before. Here in Orange County, we actually have a Republican school board. We flipped the school board. Everyone was really proud of that. There were some community members who worked extremely hard to make that happen. They even went so far as to open a store in the local mall that was just dedicated to the local candidates, but particularly school board candidates. They wanted a place where they could put all the school board signs. It was a wonderful, wonderful setup. And they worked so hard, got the board in. And what has the board done? Continued the policies of secrecy. They still have an identity support plan in our school district, in our Republican-led school district here in Southern California, Capistrano Unified. They still have not enacted a parental notification policy that could ostensibly, fight the state when it comes to the rights of our children. They have done nothing. And so I, as the show goes on today, I want to talk to you about who we hold responsible for things. It is not enough to win. I think Republicans have been losing for so long, especially in a place like California, that when we start to win, we don't know we think the winning is the thing, and the winning is just the beginning. We have to then undo years and decades. This is what is so chaotic about what's going on in DC right now. And I know everybody's got a lot of opinions about how Trump should be doing his job. And I'm sure there's all kinds of things he could be better at. And I don't know what the darkness is that lurks in the corners of the Trump administration. I don't have any information on that. I can only go by what I see. And what I see is an administration that's working really hard, but really quickly, because they only have 3 years to repair dozens of years of damage. And that's how I look at all of our local entities. Republicans, if you win, or if you make an effort to flip your city council, your local school board, and it happens, then you have to hold them accountable still. You can't just walk away. That's how we got here in the first place. Republicans sold us out, right? It wasn't Democrats. It was Republicans that got into the cushy positions and then, lost all of their passion or care for the people. It was Republicans who didn't guard the door. So I just think that anywhere where you have Republicans or conservatives, I think you need to double down on holding those people accountable. They're actually depending, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them are depending on you just giving them a break. Okay, you got a Republican and that's enough. I don't think it's enough. I actually think it's disgusting. I ran for that position, and one of the school board members, she was upset that I was upset with the school board, and she actually texted me and she told me, I think that you're jealous, Kira. I think you think that you're supposed to be sitting up here and you think you would do the job a certain way, but I'm not like you. I'm not doing the job like you. And I thought that that was a fair criticism, although it was completely incorrect. Believe me, when I go to the school board meetings and I see those women sitting up there, and I know that I get to make my comment and leave, and they've got another 7 hours up there. No, I'm not jealous at all. I didn't want to be on the school board. I wanted to protect my children. That's why I ran, and I assumed that's why the people who sit on the school board now ran. They wanted to protect their children, and now they're in the position to protect children, and they're not doing it with every fiber in their being. I just think wherever there is abuse of children, yeah, you should be upset. You should be energetic. You should be filled with rage if you're a mother. So I don't understand it, but I do know that we don't get out of any of this if you're not willing to hold people accountable. So you make sure, just because you have a Republican, whatever, council, school board, board of supervisors, make sure you know what they're doing. Okay? You don't get to disengage from the process. This is basically what this entire show is about. We can't disengage from the process, but furthermore, the most important process is the government closest to you. That's why I call this show the Orange Report, because it's in Orange County. And I did national news for so long, and that's always where my head was. I really assumed that because I live in a red and conservative area, that my neighbors and friends had it, right? Oh, look, this Christmas thing. I have my Christmas wreath up here. That's my set piece for Journey to Christmas Land. That's my other podcast where we do cheesy Christmas movie podcasts. And so I use it to cover up my books. So the Christmas movie people won't get too mad that one of the hosts is a Black conservative. But it's not hard to figure out if you look. Journey to Christmas Land, everybody. We're doing Hallmark March Madness all month. Actually, we do live results shows on Fridays. We're making the perfect Christmas movie using brackets of our favorite actors, actresses, plot devices. So fun. All right. Let's move on to the Oscars. Oscars last night, talking about California, talking about holding people accountable. The Oscars were last night. Did you know? Listen, I think I spent I've not been feeling well. First of all, there's a stomach bug going around. I've not been feeling well. So there's that. But I was going around all weekend not knowing that I'm a former actor. I'm a theater kid, everybody. That's how I got into this business. That's why all y'all are like, oh, you talk so good. I'm trained. I'm literally trained. And, politics is full of theater kids. Almost all of your favorite, talkers and politicians are theater kids. And so I'm a big theater kid, and I always used to watch the Oscars, and I always used to hate it when conservatives would say, I don't watch that crap. But now it seems like none of us are watching that crap. I tuned in for a total of 3 minutes last night. 3 minutes. And it was just miserable. There was no, even I watched the red carpet, which to me is like the most important part. It was so dull and uninteresting. Even the hosts on the red carpet seemed like they didn't want to be there. And every celebrity they talked to seemed like they didn't want to be there. And I don't know if that's just my perception, but everybody seemed dull, disconnected, and almost scared. I'm not quite sure if I was reading that correctly through my TV screen. But you know what it felt like? It felt like there had been a big fist fight before the camera started rolling. And then everybody had to go and act normal. It just was the oddest vibe. And then I asked my son, he just graduated from film school. He's very much into, and he works at a movie theater. He sees a lot of movies. He respects movies and loves them. And he just graduated film school. And I asked him, are you going to watch the Oscars tonight? And he was like, I forgot they were even on until just a little bit ago. And that's pretty much all I heard about the Oscars yesterday. Even normally on the day of or the day after, it's nonstop on the right. It's nonstop Oscar media. It is nonstop us talking about whatever ridiculous political thing someone had to say. There's a little bit of that going on, or talking about whatever ridiculous movie won, or talking about the ratings or whatever. It's usually wall to wall Oscar coverage the next day. What are we talking about today? Well, when I got on X, which is where I figure out what all the hottest people are saying. When I got on X today, what were people talking about? It's spring break, travel, the airports, DHS, shutdowns, TSA, not the Oscars. not the Oscars. And Conan O'Brien was hosting. I don't know if you knew that. And I thought it was very interesting. He made a joke last night about the TPUSA halftime show. It was kind of cute. I mean, it really wasn't that offensive, but it was a joke like, look, everyone's always complaining about the Oscars. And if you don't care for the Oscar ceremony, there is an alternative Oscar ceremony down the street at the Denny's with Kid Rock and so and such and such. A dig at TPUSA and Kid Rock. But y'all know what? The joke is the sign of the defeat. The joke's on them. When he said that, I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way 5 years ago Conan O'Brien would have been mentioning anything we were doing over here on the right, be it at TPUSA, Kid Rock, or anywhere else. It wouldn't have even punched through the culture enough to make it on that stage. The joke is proof that Hollywood is dead. If the Oscars wasn't, the joke is proof that the joke's on them. The fact that he even brought it up, I thought, wow, that's really something. You never would have, even, I think that now when I saw Ro Khanna on Fox News the other night, but now it's pretty regular where you're seeing Democrats going on Fox News. And we wouldn't have seen that a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. You were supposed to ostracize Fox News. That was like, you had to hide. If you were a producer from Fox News, you had to like hide that in your request for comments or stuff, because there's this blackout on Fox News. And now the left is, running to get on Fox News. We are in chaos. Things do feel very divided and maybe even a little concerning right now to a lot of us out here. I'm not concerned about anything because I'm on Jesus' side, so I don't have those kinds of concerns. I have political concerns in the moment, in the temporary, concerns about how we're supposed to conduct ourselves while we wait for the return. I'm not that concerned about. I don't live my life every day in fear, is what I'm telling you. And I don't want you to either. But I want to tell you that even though it looks like, gosh, we're so divided and we're not getting anywhere, we are. This pendulum is swinging hard. And the fact that Conan O'Brien said that last night tells me, and the fact that nobody was talking about the Oscars. I saw precisely one movie in that Oscars crop. It was Sinners. I cannot recommend it enough. If you don't like Hollywood, if you don't like vampire or horror, you're not going to like it. Okay. I need everyone to give me a break on the DEI stuff. It was not a DEI movie. It was just a movie that happened to be made by Black people. It's a really good movie, beautifully, exquisitely shot. And I think it's actually a love letter to Gen X. This is a movie that's very reminiscent of what we were watching in the 90s and early 2000s. And Ryan Coogler's a big Quentin Tarantino fan. And so you see again, I'm a theater kid, right? I'm a film nerd. So I see that. Just give me a break on the Sinners, everybody. Okay. The conservatives have already decided they hate it because they just hate everything coming out of Hollywood that feels like it's like blackety black or racial or messaging. And honest to goodness, I'm not much different. I really am not. You should ask my husband. I was watching the Super Bowl. We were watching the Super Bowl and I was like, I've not seen a single white person in a commercial yet. I think what happened to them? Crazy. So, but it really felt like Hollywood was dead. And even when I was looking at the streets and stuff, like the streets weren't packed. Like, I don't live in LA. I don't live in Hollywood. I live in Orange County. I live south of LA, but usually the entire Southland is gripped with Oscar fever. It's just everybody's in the industry in some way. So either you're in makeup, you've designed something for someone, or your sister-in-law made the jewelry that one of the women is wearing, or you provide the floral arrangements. Like, that is how we live here. No buzz at all. No, and even the streets looked like they couldn't care. And I know y'all saw Timothy Chalamet. Let's go to, you can bring up number 4, Scott, just so people can see that. Timothy Chalamet. Timothy is my my friend, she's not my friend, but I'm a big fan, Maureen Callahan on the Nerve. She calls him Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong is how we've all been referring to him for the last 5 years. Shamalama Ding Dong, new Hollywood royalty. I think we've all seen, he's like, as we like to say, he's smelling himself. He's been smelling himself for a couple years now. Went and got himself a Kardashian girlfriend to see if he could go for this Oscar. And let me tell you something before you turn up your nose. If you want to win anything, if you want to be successful in Hollywood, yeah, you should go through the Kardashian family. That's a coven right there. That's a coven, and they have power. So I think that's what Timothy is doing with Kylie. I think they are, he's really wanting that Oscar. And here's the thing. Here's two things I found out last night. There's Timothy. He fell down the stairs, first of all, which I didn't get to see any live video of it. To me, it looked made up. To me, it looked fake. And if it was fake, good on you, Timothy. Like, I love that, actually. Do something crazy for the cameras to see. This is a good note, kids. If you want to be remembered. Side note, little thing I like to do sometimes when I'm out and about is I like to do something a little bit crazy or a little bit silly when somebody is like taking a photo. Not if it's like a personal or very intimate photo. I don't want to be rude, but like if they look like they're having a good time, maybe I'll like jump into the photo or I'll shout something. And then I'll walk away. It's kind of my favorite thing because then I got to be, now I'm a part of their moment. I know it's not very nice. That's not very kind, but that's how I feel. Like, oh, now I'm a part of this moment and they're always going to remember me for that. So I love that Timothy, if he faked that he made a moment. Okay, fine. But I watched video later when he was going to look at the crowds and they had let people come into the red carpet area, which was tented. It was rather hot yesterday. And they didn't even seem that excited either. And you think back to the Harvey Weinstein days, everybody, the glory days of Hollywood, for better or for worse, and the Oscars, and you would see all those crowds of adoring people, and they would be screaming, and Gwyneth Paltrow would come, and everybody would like, and she would go sign autographs and take pictures, and that was gone too. And here's the point I'm getting to. Timothy Chalamet lost that Oscar last night to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. I didn't see Marty Supreme. I did see Sinners. Michael B. Jordan is a fine actor. That's all I have to say about that. But Sinners is a great movie. Michael B. Jordan, a fine actor. Happy he won. Sinners was a fabulous movie. But Timothy Chalamet was in line. And Hollywood has a hierarchy. And that's what he was trying to do. He's a very young man. He's been trying to skip that hierarchy. But Hollywood operates on worship. All celebrity operates on worship. That is the nature of celebrity. This is why the Bible warns you all the time about making idols of anything, work, other people, anything. We have hearts to worship. Humans are created to worship. If we don't worship God, we will worship something. We'll worship ourselves. We'll worship, fashion. We'll worship sports. We'll worship a politician. If we don't have, so we'll worship an ideology. If we don't have something to worship, if we don't worship God, we will worship something. All right. So celebrities are worship seekers. That's what fandom is. You are offering worship to these celebrities. And the celebrity class, not only do they get there, and they literally do, right? All of their energy, they're like vampires. All of their energy comes from you. Think about that. All of it comes from you. It doesn't come from them. They're the people who wear the dresses and make the movies. But if you don't watch their movie, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear, it doesn't make a sound, kind of thing. Right? If you don't watch, they need you. They need you to be talking. I know they're all, we want privacy. Remember Meghan and Harry's World Privacy Tour? World Privacy Tour. We want privacy, but they don't really want privacy, because if you wanted privacy, you would drop out of the scene altogether. And some people from Hollywood have done that. And they're legend, right? Just disappeared to a farm in the middle of nowhere. Some people have done that. They need your worship. They like it when you talk about them. They like it when you're arguing over them, when they're controversial, and anything you do that addresses what they do is a form of worship. And so what Timothy Chalamet tried to do is skip the worship line, right? And go right to the top. But because the fans aren't even cooperating this year around, the only people there to love each other were them. The only people there to congratulate each other were them. And he found out real quickly that all of those celebrity gods, they want their worship too. They're not just going to hand it over to you, Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong. So he found out the hard way that he was not at the top of the hierarchy, walked in pretty sure of it, and walked out completely humiliated. And I'm going to tell you, I think that is a function of how the rest of the world is finally viewing Hollywood. That's what I think. I think they're going to start eating their own over there. Forgive the, I mean, speaking of weird Hollywood stuff, if you've been keeping up with Epstein files stuff, go over to Instagram. I know you find it distasteful. Go to Instagram or TikTok and look up any of the influencers that are picking through the Epstein files. There's 3 million documents. They're doing another dump, I think. And you can't do it all yourself. But if you want to know, people are digging through it, and there are people who will they'll give you all the links so you can double check and see that it's true, because we do live in the age of AI. That's an aside. In the age of Epstein, where the gloves are off for Hollywood, we just don't care about them anymore. They can only get worship from themselves. And you know what? They're a lot less nice than the fandom. What I saw last night in Oscar felt like a funeral. It felt like, and I know we've been saying that forever, but I just think that the world is done with this version of Hollywood. Don't worry. The enemy will always find a way to dazzle us and put stars in our eyes. It's not like that's going to go away. It's going to morph. It's going to have to morph. This version of what they have sold us for 75 to 100 years out of Hollywood, it's just not working anymore. The scales are off our eyes, and we think they're hypocrites. I want to read to you. Let's do this parking story, Scott. Let's do the cars towed from the Hollywood event. That's Matt Seedsdorf. How much do we love him? Like the new Bill Melugin. And not to discredit you, Matt. Bill, I mean, that's a compliment. And Bill, I saw Bill on Fox LA and thought, wow, that guy's amazing. He's going to go places. And now look at him. Matt Seedsdorf of Fox 11 doing great work. He ran a story on Fox 11 yesterday. Dozens of cars were towed blocks from the Oscars in Hollywood, leaving residents and workers scrambling to find their vehicles and pay at least $409 to get them back. Some say confusing parking signs led to the mass towing. Of course they did. Of course they did. All right. Thank you, Scott. It's not the confusing parking signs. It's LA. That's LA life. I swear the city does. This is my point. This is what I'm trying to get to. Misery's the point. I've been saying it for days now, and I think this is what I need to sit on. It's right here in my heart. Misery is the point. These people, it's not just that these people are stupid or that these people they just have a different ideology and it doesn't make them see. They're doing this on purpose. Misery is the point. It's to drive you crazy. That is the point. In Los Angeles, they do it through road signs. You never know if you're going to be getting a ticket. You go to Instagram and search a million influencers right now making fun of the parking signs in Los Angeles. Like, of course, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. $409. So Hollywood, you want to wonder why nobody was there? You want to wonder why nobody cared? You want to wonder why there was such a lack of enthusiasm? Why last night you surely had your worst ratings of all time? You guys are hypocrites, and not even your shiny makeup jobs and plastic surgery can hide it anymore. People like me might have understood this for years, but even the normies are finally coming around. Even the normies are finally looking at you and going, I don't know, because even if they don't believe that most of you are cannibals, which I'm pretty much in that camp right about now, and Satanists, even if they don't believe that most of you are cannibals and practicing Satanists, they do know that you're all hypocrites. They do know that you walk on the red carpet with your ice out pins or your whatever pins, whatever, and you talk about defunding the police, or you talk about racial inequity, and then you go back to your gated home and you don't care about what happens to us in the streets. right? You only care if we're there to cheer for you and clap for you when you go give each other your awards. But you people don't care about the people who are going to wait all day for their opportunity to see you. You only care about the information, the affirmation that they're going to give you. You don't care. In Los Angeles is one of the most expensive cities in the nation to live in. And it's not an upscale city. It's not like you're going to Martha's Vineyard or something where you would expect, okay, West Palm Beach. Okay, yeah, it's expensive, but that's where rich people live. It's Los Angeles. It's one of the poorest cities in America, and it's one of the most expensive cities in America. People are living paycheck to paycheck to pay $409 to get your car towed so a bunch of cannibal celebrities can go pat each other on the ass and congratulate each other for the slop that they fed America for another year. And for that privilege, you have to pay $409 to get your shitty car out of the tow. Is it any wonder that America is done with celebrities? When you hear them on TV and you see them saying the most ridiculous things, just know they're doing it because they know they're dying and they don't know what to do. This is the system that has always worked for them. And now the system is falling apart around their ears because it turns out you can't fake out the American people forever. Turns out you can't. It turns out we actually do have a limit. It turns out we actually do have standards. And it turns out that Hollywood actually didn't kill the moral center of this nation. You didn't. You tried. And a lot of us, did our part to play along. Guilty. Sorry about that. We played along, but you pushed so hard. You messed up. You done messed up. AA, Ron, you done messed up. You pushed the American psyche so far. It turns out we actually still knew what we wanted. So now we're in this battle between the people that we've let take over and let believe are the majority and the real majority. That's people like you and me. This is not left and right. This is us versus them. You're going to have to vote left or right because we have a two-party system. So to disrupt the system, you need to do the opposite of what you've been doing. So Los Angeles, California, we've been voting for Democrats. We have to do the opposite, not because Republicans are good people. I know plenty of bad Republicans, but because this is how you start the revolution. This is how you do it. Hollywood is dead. And this is how you know they're dead, because their industry is getting crushed and they're still not fighting for it. Right now, they're so far into this game. They're so far down that weirdo Epstein, whatever the hell else goes on there, rabbit hole. They're sold out is what I'm saying. It's like they've signed the contracts. They're sold out. They're sold out to the Democrats. They're sold out to the Newsoms. They're sold out to the ideology, the club, whatever you want, the enemy, however you want to put it. They're sold out. And you hear a lot of celebrities, they say it jokingly, but now, the influencer crowd says that's not joking. You have to put it out there. Well, a lot of them say, oh, yeah, I sold my soul to the devil. I mean, just do a search on Instagram and you'll see so many celebrities joking about it. And after a while, you start to wonder, are they joking? And whether or not you believe that's a thing you can do, sell your soul. I believe you can actually enter into a contract with the devil. Your soul is not yours to sell. It might need to go be rescued, though, because you can give it away, but it's not yours to sell. Anywho. If you don't believe that, okay, fine. But I think the metaphor still stands. They have sold out to this ideology to the point where they no longer have the ability to reason about it. And they know even when they know they're wrong about something, they cannot talk about being wrong. They cannot admit to it. They can't. It's too late. They've signed the contract. The balls are rolling. There's an end game in place. This is the price they have paid to be a part of this world. And they cannot extract themselves from it. I couldn't believe it. I still cannot believe it. We've been watching the Oscars go down, down, down for years now. But I promise you people, last night, that was the end of the Oscars as we know it. I'm sure we'll get another Oscars next year, but I'm going to bet it looks either worse or a lot different. They'll respond to what they're hearing from the people, but my suspicion is that they're going to double down, and so are we. I'm here for it. I just couldn't believe it as a Californian, and I just can't believe, let's get back to California here. I cannot believe that Gavin Newsom will be the governor who killed Hollywood. This one of the mainstays of California life. And Gavin Newsom is going to exit his office having been the man that killed Hollywood. He's not even in California. He didn't even come to the Oscars. Who was at the Oscars? Nancy and Paul Pelosi. They went to the Oscars. Newsom didn't even show up to the Oscars. But you know what his Z team did today? They surely were putting out all kinds of praise for the Oscar winners. And thank you for you. Oh, Sinners won this and you got your California tax credit. Congratulations. You weren't even in the Oscars, bruh. You didn't even send your Z team down there to get some good video. Could it be that it's because Hollywood hates Gavin too? Everybody hates Gavin Newsom. I know that his comms team is posting pictures of him in Atlanta or Miami or Austin or Ohio or New York, wherever he's going, all the places that aren't California. And I know they're showing people filling those rooms, but hey, none of those are his constituents. Not a single one. I don't know if you know this, but Atlanta isn't anywhere near California. Neither is New York. Miami, nope. Those people are not his constituents. But the Hollywooders are his constituents, right? If he's so proud of the tax credit he gave them and he wants to tout, and he's paying we ran that story, 19 million of our tax dollars to rehab his image and California's image, and he didn't show up at the Oscars last night. And Jennifer, Little Miss Jenny filmmaker Siebel Newsom, right? We didn't break that. New York, California Post broke that, but, and others. Journalists, Jennifer Van Laar, Susan Shelley, Susan Crabtree, all these people have been writing about this for years, but we talked about that. Jennifer Siebel Newsom and her film, she's a filmmaker from the Weinstein School. I don't know if you know what the homework is when you go to the Weinstein School, but it's nothing you or I want to do, but Jennifer Siebel Newsom did it. And, she's a filmmaker ostensibly. So her filmmaker self and her governor husband bragging about the tax credits he gives to Hollywood and trying to run for president, and they don't show up at the Oscars. Everybody hates Gavin and Jennifer Newsom. Everybody hates them. Everybody hates them. And it sounds like, according to Gavin, even his kids do. Like he was talking to, I think, was it Tapper or somebody? He was giving an interview or Dana Bash, and she was like, "You're going to run?" And he said, just it's a lot of time. And, my son actually sent me a text and said, "Don't run, Dad. We want you to spend more time with us." And he laughed about that. He thought that was cute. He thought that made him look like a good dad, because he doesn't know what a good dad, he doesn't know what a good man looks like. And so he really did genuinely think that was like a vulnerable moment, because psychopaths, they don't understand emotion, right? He's not registering any real emotion. He just knows that people want to take care of their kids, and people who talk about taking care of their kids are often looked at kindly. And so he's giving you what he thinks is a very vulnerable moment. And all it is like, it's a straight up condemnation of who he is as a father and a husband. If his son is going, "Dad, please stay home more. We don't want you to run for president because we want more of you." And he laughed about that. Everybody hates the Newsoms. Do you understand me? It'll make a lot more sense when you frame Gavin like that. He'll make a lot more sense to you. The way he sits, the way he's always moving his hands, the way he looks so jittery, the way he looks like he's always high, all of his bad behavior in the past will all make sense to you if you understand. Everybody hates the Newsoms. Everybody has hated Gavin Newsom probably since he was a child. He says so in his book. Even his own parents did. And that turns you, my parents hated me too, Gavin. I get it. Like, I had boomer parents too. And one of them's still alive, and they don't like me. I get it. So when you grow up a despised child, it turns you into one of two people. You either become a complete narcissist and psychopath, or you become a child of God, right? Because that's the only way really to repair that kind of betrayal and hurt is the King of Kings, the Lord Jesus Christ, right? And the healing that he gives. And so that is available to you, Gavin. Yeah, that's available to you. It's still free. You know, Kira, you don't have to depend on Kira for grace. Kira doesn't have any grace to give you. As I said, I don't like you. And I don't like your wife. I actually think you guys are evil and you're doing evil things, but God says, I mean, thank God for God, you know, thank God for Jesus, because he's bigger than me. He's bigger than that, right? Thank God, or else I'd be screwed too. So you still have the opportunity to repent and turn to the Lord and find true healing there. That is available for you. I'm here to tell you myself, it can be done. But that doesn't mean I have to be nice to you or pretend that I like you. I don't. I think you're both horrible people. And I can't wait to watch you fail miserably in front of all of America. But hopefully we'll see one or both of you just going straight to jail. That's what I would like. And guess what? There's a lot of ministry in jail. There's a lot of ministry work that gets done in jail. So perfectly reasonable to think you might meet God in there. I'll be waiting for the perp walk. All right, let's see. What else do I have on here? I definitely want to talk to you about this parole. Oh, good Lord. Let's go to, you just put up number 5 there. And then I'm going to read you this story. Ashley Zavala from KCRA. Let's see. Okay. Ashley is, first of all, shout out to Ashley. If you don't follow her, Scott, hit follow on the Orange Report button right there for Ashley. Yeah, we're going to follow her. She's the best of the best. We love Ashley. Thank you for all the hard work you do. Like, that's a real reporter. I just talk. I don't really break stories. I mean, I'm doing a little bit here and there. I don't really break stories. I don't do that. I'm not a trained journalist. Ashley is really good at what she does. All right. So she is talking about you've seen what's been going on in our parole system. We were about to parole that lifer the other day who raped little children. And my God, if you listen, if you go read what that man did to babies, okay, so there's no way this person should be, in my opinion, he shouldn't be alive. Everybody, we have the death penalty here in California. We voted for it not once, not twice, but 3 times. We voted for the death penalty 3 times, the latest being 2021. Californians want the death penalty. And you know what Gavin Newsom did? Vetoed it. He couldn't even veto. We had to do another vote so he couldn't veto. We did another vote to strengthen it. And he went and just pulled all of the levers out of it. He just suspended it. In California, when you vote for something, you don't get it. Do you understand what I mean? This is a full-on banana republic. It's got to be too big to rig. We got to win the governor's mansion in November, and then we got to change the general primary system, and we need voter ID, and then we'll see some change. And since I'm on the topic, no, it's a freaking pipe dream that you're going to get a top 2 Republican ticket in California. No such thing. And I can't believe any Republican is so naive to think so. I don't say this because I want one candidate to win over the other. I say this because I want to win. And I feel like every time we get close, Republicans kick themselves in the ass with all of their pipe dreams and their naive pronouncements about how things should work. You're living in a dream. You're living in the California that existed 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's been so corrupted. We have to do what they don't expect us to do. The jungle primaries are made to defeat Republicans. You understand this, right? The jungle primaries are made to defeat Republicans. They are not made to make things easier. If you're not willing to play a game that can beat the primary system, you're not serious about politics. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that Steve and Chad were going to stay at the top getting close to June when the unions hadn't even declared yet. Now the unions have declared, and Eric Swalwell is their chosen. So guess what? We need to rally against one. Don't make Steve Hilton waste all his money on Chad. trying to get through the June primaries, which Chad is not going to. Steve might, if Chad can figure out how to be a good Californian and take one for the team here. We're done with that, okay? Put that away. We're done with it. The unions have weighed in now. The unions have chosen Swalwell, and the other people will get in line by the time we get to June. Do you think they're going to just hand over the state to the Republicans? Honestly, I know you don't want to hear it. I know, and I know it stings, but that's where we are. And it's not, I'm not saying that because I think that you're wrong for supporting Chad Bianco. Not at all. Good candidate in any other time. But I don't think if you want to go to war, or do you just want to fight another battle that you're going to lose? I want to go to war. I don't think you want to go to war. I think you want just to hope. You're hoping that we still live in a California. We don't even live in a California from 5 years ago. We can't even run the same election we ran 5 years ago. All right. Ashley Zavala talked about this parole situation. Another thing, again, misery is the point. I'm going to read you this story that she's talking about. You can put that tweet back up there so people can look at it while I'm reading this. A former parole agent who worked for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation says parolees in the state have not been closely tracked and is warning if things don't change, there could be dangerous consequences. We're already dealing with that. The former agent says he's worked for CDCR for 15 years, including 6 years in the San Francisco parole office. By the way, we're getting ready to parole another crazy guy who raped and murdered people. He says his concern started during the pandemic when agents, listen to this, when agents were told they needed to do most of their work by phone instead of in person. As a sex offender agent, As a sex offender agent, I had GPS tracking information so I could see pretty much where they were at any given time. But beyond that, what they were doing at those moments, I have no idea, said the former agent. He spoke to KCRA on the condition of anonymity. He said he was fearful of retribution, but wanted his safety concerns to be made public. Do you understand where we're at? How on earth could a law enforcement official in the United States of America, in Gavin Newsom's California, say he was scared to tell people about a dangerous criminal being released because he didn't want blowback? He was scared to tell people that the citizens of California are at danger because he was scared of, quote, retribution. This is Gavin Newsom's California. This is what you want, America? Stunning to me that we've gotten here and normalized it so much that it just happens all the time, everywhere, right under our noses. People, none of it's going to stop if you don't start setting standards for your own community right where you are. It has to start right at the local level. Every little contract and big contract. You need to know what your representatives are doing because misery is the point. It was literally, are you abiding by the law today? Yes, fantastic, the former agent said. Whatever they told us is exactly what we would put in the system. The former agent said after COVID protocols were lifted, agents did return to the field, but he said there was a directive to not make arrests or do other police work that would be generally involved with the public. They said, don't arrest the sex offenders that are lurking and waiting for your daughter outside of school or even in her bathroom. Don't arrest them. They said that. Officials said that. Misery is the point, my friends. Misery is the point. Misery is the point. This is not an ideological thing. This is war. This is why I keep telling people, stop acting like we can just go back to a time when we had good political conversations, and don't tell me about we can't do this, Kira, because what if the left does that? They'll use it against us. It's too late. We tried to do it that way for years and years, and it's too late. Dad just texted us, Scott. He said, we can see your computer screen on the live. Yes. It's supposed to be up there, but you can take it off now, Scott, because I'm done rambling on the article itself. And thank you. Our biggest fan always watches every live episode. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, we're in a time now, people, where the misery is the point, and that's what I want you to think about. When you're sitting in traffic and you're going, why is this entire middle lane blocked up with 5 years worth of road construction? The misery is the point. Why are all these illegals getting health care, but I have to wait 7.5 hours in the emergency room to get the health care that I've already paid for? The misery is the point. Why are illegal immigrants getting priority status in our state schools over my own children? Misery is the point. Why are parolees who are clearly dangerous not only being released early, but then their parole officers are being instructed to let them into the community and to not check up on them or involve any other law enforcement? The misery is the point. Why does a business owner in Los Angeles get arrested or fined for putting an obstruction in front of his own building so that the homeless people won't put up a tent? But the homeless people will not get fined for putting up the tent. Misery is the point. Why is it that a business will be fined if they don't have the proper bathroom facilities for the public, but a homeless person can defecate in the street right in front of that business or even in that business? The misery is the point. That's what they were doing to us through COVID. Every time that you looked and you saw the Mexican street vendors selling tacos on the street while your restaurant was closed, your family business was closed, your kid's school was closed. Every time you saw Gavin Newsom at the French Laundry or whatever Democrat politician vacationing in Mexico, just know the point was, yes, for you. The point was for you to see that, because the point is misery. You're supposed to look and be miserable and feel terrible. Misery is the point, and in California, it's an industry. And if you want to change it, you've got to do what they don't expect to be done. And we're starting to do that. I wish people could see. It's really exciting. You can hear my dog growling in the background. Just ignore her. She's not growling at me. She agrees with everything I'm saying. She's growling at the gardeners outside. Because you never know when they might become dangerous. Thank you for your service, Lola. Misery is the point. And that is why in California, when you see us, we're starting to get crammed more and more and more into these clustered communities, like where I live in the suburbs, where my family worked really hard to move here out of the hood. And so I'm definitely not going to reside over it becoming the hood again. No, ma'am. But we're all being smashed further, closer and closer together. But it's an exciting time here, because after the fire, that wasn't exciting, but after the fires last year, people really started to get a look. And because they couldn't even, Gavin and Karen could have fooled everybody. This is how dumb they are. This is what I mean. Stop making it seem like evil has the upper hand all the time. Stop making it seem like the evil people are the smartest people in the room. They're dumb too. Right? They make mistakes too. They're just people. These are all like nobody in any of these equations are God. And Gavin and Karen, they really could have fooled us all. They could have done, if they had just done what they said they were going to do, right? All Gavin had to do was go meet up with his cronies and be like, yo, you and I both know that when push comes to shove, we're going to make sure the Palisades becomes nothing but Section 8 housing. But in the meantime, I got to make sure people are getting their permits, right? Because I said I was going to do that, and then that's how I'm going to run for president. So let's just take off the red tape and make everybody think, yeah, we can really do this. They could have been heroes. That's what blows my mind. They could have been heroes. That's how deep they are into this thing. This is how little we can trust them. They won't eat. I used to feel like if a politician was only self-interested, and I think I still feel this way. If a politician is only self-interested, it's the next best thing to having a good politician. a person who cares about their constituents, because at least the self-interested person lives near you. This is why your local government is important. That person, if that person lives near you, they're going to protect their interests, and hopefully you're electing a person whose self-interests line up with your self-interest. But see, at this point, the Gavin Newsoms and the Karen Basuras, they're not self-interested anymore. That's why I keep using the word evil. I think we've crossed this line. They've sold something to somebody that they are no longer in control of. So it's not a self-interested thing anymore. And I think this might be why Gavin is still out there. I'm not sure that it is just pride that's keeping Gavin out there on the road. I think he might have some deals with some people where he just really can't back out of it. He just really can't. And this is why he won't even bother coming to California in what should be one of the easiest campaign stops in the world for him, the Oscars. And he won't come back. He's in Austin during the Oscars, and he's the governor of California. This is our Super Bowl. And we had the Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl. And he won't, guys, these people are in trouble, and that's why they don't care. That's why they don't care that you're vulnerable. That's why they don't care. The misery is the point. DHS doesn't have funding because they do want you to be vulnerable. Do you understand this? Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down? It's war. We have to start saying the hard things, doing the hard things, admitting the hard things. So we're actually in an existential battle between good and evil right now. I'm no longer going to actually just pretend that this is political. That part's over, okay? Everyone's going to be asked to make a choice. It's war. Everyone's going to be asked to make a choice. It's going to be them or it's going to be us. Who's us? Jesus. The Christians. That's us. If you need to make that bigger, it's Judeo-Christian, because we know the Jews are also in God's plan. It says so right there in the word. I don't make the rules, everybody, so don't get weird about it. All right. And Jews and Christians have been working together just fine in this country forever. We have our tensions. We have our, whatevers. I'm not here to talk to you about whatever strange ideas you have about Israel or good ideas you have about Israel. I usually don't even talk about it because I don't know enough to sound intelligent. But I will say this. It's time to choose. That book, Drawing Lines, it was written in 2022. I'm a prophet. I've just realized today no one's going to toot your horn. I'm a prophet. You read that book. I'm a prophet. I said in that book, if you don't start now, if you don't get in now, if you don't start drawing a line where you are now, standing up, telling the truth, saying the hard things, getting into the positions that the liberals put themselves in and then give themselves all this power, the library board, the school board, your board of supervisors, your city council, the water district, whatever it is, if you don't go fill those positions, they will. If you don't stand up and say, no, a boy can't be a girl, they're going to put him on your teams. If you don't stand up and say, no, DEI is wrong, CRT is wrong, and I don't care what you call me, I'm not a racist. I will not put this garbage in our schools. It'll get there anyway. If you spend all your time trying to convince everyone you're not a racist, even though you oppose CRT, you're wasting your time. It's war. And that's what that whole book is about, getting in where you fit in, figuring a way to get in where you fit in, because the soldier is you. The army is you. It's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't keep your kids out of school. Your mayor did that. Your governor did that. This app has a thing where if you use a thumb up, it'll give you a thumb up. I don't know why. Time's coming where we got to make a choice, and we got to make a choice who our tribes are. Who are we protecting? We're going to have the Islam discussion. It's happening right now. We tried to have it in 2001 after 9/11, and no one wanted to hear it. George Bush gave us the infamous Religion of Peace line, and we've been paying for that ever since. And now these people are putting up cities, Epic City. They're running whole towns. Dearborn, Michigan. My friends, we are at a precipice. We are at a moment to choose. I'm choosing America. I'm choosing God. I'm choosing America. I'm choosing my family. And I'm also choosing not to be naive enough anymore to believe that this is a left right issue. It's us versus them. It's the tribe of America versus everybody else. Misery is the point for them. Everything they're doing, it's not, sometimes when I see like people complaining about Mom Donnie, like, I can't believe he's doing it. You should stop with that. What do you mean you can't believe that he's an Islamist? They've been planning that. They've been planning Zoran Mamdani since 9/11, 2001. 2000, since they built the mosque there, that Rush Limbaugh told everybody, don't let them build this mosque. That's a flag. Don't let them build the mosque. That's a flag. How do we save our country? How do we save our state? How do we save our county? If you look at it like this, keep my hands in this frame. If you look at it like this, it feels impossible. It's so vast. It's so wide. The amount of corruption. And if you're reading the Epstein files, the depth of depravity. And yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Libertarians, I get it. Like, I'm with you. Yeah, it's left and right. I'm on the right, though. I'm on the right. I'm a conservative. I vote for Republicans. That doesn't mean that I don't think there's no bad Republicans and no bad conservatives. It just means I'm realistic. We're in a two-party system. If you'd like to give me any ideas on how we smash that, it's not with the third party, y'all. Even Elon couldn't pull it off. Probably what has to happen, in my estimation, is the Democrat Party has to go away and another party replace it, like, the Whigs died. I did a story on Friday's show. I do Orange County politics usually at the end of the show. We cover Orange County. Orange County is important to you because it's important to America. We're a border county. We're having the Olympics here, some of them, and we're the last red jewel in California. And all of the things that Gavin Newsom does to California are aimed at Orange County. And we talked about this mysterious grant that no one can figure out where it went from Katrina Foley, who is in our District 5 Board of Supervisor, and a Chamber of Commerce in a local town here. And one of the reasons why I said that was important was that it's just a small grant. It's $25,000. But a concerned citizen wrote to me and said, I tried to find out where the $25,000 went. A business owner, actually. I tried to find out where the $25,000 went, and I didn't know. I couldn't find out. I asked my supervisor. I asked the chamber, and nobody could tell me where the money went. That it was signed over, but I haven't seen any of it, and I don't know how it was used. So on Friday's show, I went and I read through that letter, and I said I do have other public filings and forms. I don't know how interested everyone is in seeing those, but I'll write up a report and include them. But this concerned citizen sent me the contract, and here's this contract. It's for $25,000 from a county supervisor, which, if you don't know what your county supervisor does, I'm going to give you permission to get off this podcast right now and go Google it. Like, you need to know who that is. If you don't know who that is and you think you're serious about politics, you're not serious. Okay? Go find who your Board of Supervisors is and find out what their political affiliation is, and come back. Tell me what you found. All right. So this agreement says that it begins on it ends on June 30th, 2026. So we're coming up on it. The county will issue a one-time contribution to the grantee, $25,000 within 10 business days of this agreement. The grantee must utilize the grant amount in accordance with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations. The grant amount must be used solely for the purpose identified in paragraph 2 of this agreement, which would be must be costs associated with the refurbishment of the grantee's support of small businesses and workforce development. That's what it says it's supposed to be used for. Okay. This citizen sent an email inquiring about it, And I'll read that. You know what? I'll save those because we're running out of time today. So I'll read those on Friday's show, because Friday I like to like loop back all of what we did through the week and then add some more local stuff for the Orange County crowd. So Orange County on Friday, I'll read some of the responses, but they didn't get any. The chamber said, well, the chamber's response was basically, we used it for stuff that the chamber uses this kind of stuff for, supporting businesses and stuff like that. But there were no itemized receipts that I have been made aware of yet. No one sent those to me. Furthermore, this supervisor, Katrina Foley, has no itemized receipts also, and that's your money, but she can't tell you where it went. Here's why this story matters. It doesn't matter to you if you're not from Orange County, but it matters to you regardless, because this is how we got to needing a Doge in Washington, D.C. I think we're going to find out that almost our entire budget is fake. Almost the entire national budget is fake. How did we get here? You're the first line of defense, my friends. It's right here, right on the front lines, right where you are. The thing is that national politicians come from somewhere, don't they? They come from you. They come from your hometown. They come from your suburb. They come from your city. That's where they start. They start on your school board, your city council, your board of supervisors. They run for governor, state office. And then maybe some of them are like, it's my dream to be in Congress. I'm going to go to Congress, or I'm going to run for president. Those people all come from where you are. Who are we sending there? Folks, DC isn't sending us bad politicians. That's what I mean to say. We're sending them bad politicians because we are not requiring accountability on our own doorstep. So when they think they can get away with it here, they definitely know they can get away from it there, where you definitely don't see them. You don't know what they do day to day. You don't know what their records are. Here in Orange County, I know people who know my district supervisor, right? We gossip about each other. People gossip about me in the neighborhood, right? Like, we're a neighborhood. We're a city, we're an area, we're a region, and people know people. And rumors go and gossip goes, and that's how you kind of get information. You start hearing about stuff. If you don't stop it right where you are, if you don't pay attention right where you are the problem. Do you understand? How is Trump going to deport 30 million people in 3 years? He's not. You're going to do it. You're going to start right where you are by calling the authorities on companies that use mass illegal labor. And you know who those companies are. You're going to do it. You're going to do it by telling the truth at your school board meetings, no matter what it costs. That's how you're going to change that. You're going to change the swamp by refusing to send unaccountable narcissists to the swamp and then being confused as to why they would become swampy once they get there. This is our fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. Americans, our battle, our line is on the front line at home. The government closest to you is the most important. Who cares about Katrina Foley? You don't even know her name. You're never going to have to vote for her. But she has a lot of power over my life and my son's life and my neighborhood's life. My friend who owns a business. She has a lot of power over the pesticides that are currently running through San Juan Creek and being ingested by our teenagers who swim and train at the beach. She has a lot of power over that. And you have one of her in your area. And yeah, okay, it's nice. She gave a Chamber of Commerce $25,000 to do business. But if you don't, for yourself, find out what happened to that $25,000, and if it indeed was used to support you, you're part of the problem. Because guess what? Now she gets to go, I gave small businesses $25,000 when she runs for governor or state assembly or whatever, wherever she's moving on to from here. And there's no one to hold accountable what she did with your money. That's $25,000 of your money. If I gave you, Orange County, $25,000 right now, and I told you, use this to support a business, what's one thing you would do with it? A business, just any business, and pick something. What would you do? And could you give me a receipt for it? If you don't know what's going on where you are right now. You're part of the problem. Donald Trump didn't close your schools. Your governor and your mayor did. Okay? These things matter. One thing I am seeing that really makes me feel good is I'm seeing a lot of citizen journalists sprouting up back in the Breitbart days when we all started in this game. That's how we were. That's who we were. The internet, we had the internet, which was prolific at the time, but we did not have social media the way we know it now. And so now it's a whole new round of this. And I'm seeing citizens look up fraud in their own neighborhoods. That's how we'll win, everybody. That's how we'll win. You, me, every person doing what they're supposed to do right where they are. You should be holding your city council accountable. You should be holding your mayor accountable. You should be holding your library board, the water district. Your senator actually should not be your first call when you have a problem. Your first call, your first thing to do is to show up at a meet. Show up. We had Shan, parent activist, on last week, Shan K. She'll be back on at some point. And I asked her, Shan, what do parents do? How should they, how can they get involved? And she said, show up. Just start by showing up. You'll know when you show up. You'll see when you show up. Go to one meeting. I'm going to challenge you right now. I'm going to challenge everybody within earshot. Pick one government meeting, local government meeting to go to this week in person. Don't attend online, in person, and go. And just say that's going to be my thing for the year. I'll put up with, I'll sacrifice the 4 hours or whatever it is. Just pick one. Again, what I don't want you to do is tell me, yeah, Kira, I love that you stand for the kids. I'll fight for the kids. I'll die for my kids. I'll do anything for my kids. And you won't even go to a meeting for your kids. Don't tell me you're going to die for your kids and you won't go sit in a school board meeting for your kids. America, let's reframe how we think, what it means to die for your country and your family and your kids, what it means to sacrifice. Let's reframe. We are in a time of war, and everyone's going to have to sacrifice or be sacrificed. I'm not going to be sacrificed. I've already chosen my side. You're welcome to come over. Doors always open. Thank God for Jesus. Kira's not nearly so gracious, but you don't have to depend on my grace. And that's the good news. All right, everybody. That's it for our show today. Please go follow the Orange Report everywhere. That's just going to help us get our metrics up. And this is our California Orange County show. So this is the show for you guys to get your California news. And California news is national news right now. Unfortunately, yes, gas is skyrocketing here. That's not AI. It's miserable. People are starting to think about going back to work from home here. It's that bad. But go sign up for the Orange Report with Kira Davis everywhere. If you're going to be at CPAC, holler. We're going to be there. So holler at me. We'll maybe try to plan a little meetup. Go to justkiradavis.com to follow me, everything I'm doing there. And of course, if you just want to zone out and not have to think about politics or even Hollywood, I think you should go and sign up for the Journey to Christmasland Substack. I think you would really like that. It's on Journey to Christmasland on Substack. And our podcasts are there. You can find them on other platforms too if you just want to listen, like on Spotify or iTunes. But it's a Substack show, and we're doing March Madness. So we're making our perfect Christmas movie by picking our favorite actors, actresses, and plot lines. Go sign up there. You can find me on X at Kira Davis. That's where I do most of my pontificating. And if you're watching the dubbed Gavin Newsom series and you like it, do us a favor, hit the like and share it. We're having so much fun doing it. And hopefully by the time he starts running in 2028, we'll have like a whole season of those to drop when he starts his official run. All right, everybody. It was great spending some time with you. Don't forget, it's time for choosing. It's time for choosing. But it's kind of a great time to be alive. It's kind of how I feel. It's weird, but great. I'm Kira Davis. You've been watching the Orange Report. Bring on the sunshine.